Hi Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your January 2022 Mercury Retrograde reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. So let's see what the tarot has to say. How will Aquarius be affected by the January 2022 Mercury retrograde? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. 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 At the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have the world at our root, which is beautiful, and we have the Fool. Aquarius, we are ready for a journey. That's lovely. We then have the Star, which represents us, Aquarius, in the major arcana. We're represented by the Star in the major arcana, by the Swords in the minor arcana. So again, absolutely beautiful. And we have the Lover. So this is Gemini energy. This is also strong Mercury energy coming through, very much having an effect on us on a personal level, which makes perfect sense. Mercury is in Aquarius, so it would just make sense to see this here. Then we have the King of Pentacles, Earth sign energy at our heart. This is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. If we have Earth sign energy within our natal chart, it comes through very powerfully at our heart, just as if we have any Gemini energy in our natal chart, it comes through very powerfully in our inner self. We then have the Ace of Wands and the Five of Cups. Then in the public arena, we have the Nine of Wands and we have the Fool once again. So let's look at, I love the double Fool. I love that. Let's look at the energy we need to be mindful of. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. This is the King of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We need to be mindful of people trying to bully us with their passion, with their determination, with their fire. It's kind of like, you will do what I say because I am declaring it, because I am pushing you in that direction, because I want it to be. And that's going to be something we have to be just very mindful of. Like other people's wills, it's not necessarily that their will is stronger than our will, but it's that they're going to be much more forceful, much more, in that direction. So just really be mindful of that energy coming in and being overpowering. Now let's look at our chakra energy for this time. Angels and spirit guides, show us clearly. And this is life purpose, the third chakra. We were actually using the third chakra singing bowl here. And so life purpose comes in and we're going to see ourselves elevating. We're speaking our truth, we're embracing our throat, we're embracing what it is that we want, and we're letting ourselves say it, which is a very big thing. If we can say it, if we can see it, if we can, if we can look at it, then it can become true. And that's going to be very powerful for us with our life purpose. It's like I can rise up, I can walk up these steps. I can see this path. And it's like, it doesn't have to be something big. We always think our life purpose has to be something monumental that people will talk about for generations to come. It doesn't have to be. We could live a very quiet, very peaceful, very beautiful life, with people saying, oh, they tended their garden, or they love to go for walks with their dog, or they always just had such a beautiful smile, or I can't believe their eyes were that blue, that type of thing. So why do we always think that it has to be something extraordinary? Why can't it be just in the realms of the ordinary? Why not? Why do we always poo-poo, disclaim the ordinary life and say, oh, but it has to be something bigger and better, bigger and better? And I mean, that has always been the way with people, in ancient Egypt, your name had to live on forever. If your name wasn't spoken, you didn't survive. And that's the way people think, your buildings have to be bigger, your name has to be written all over it so that people know that you were here. And yet there's something beautiful in quietly living and quietly, achieving our goals and connecting with our hearts. So that's going to be important. Don't dissuade that. Like, don't take away the value that comes with that. So let's look at this Mercury retrograde, astrologically speaking. We have Mercury right here, and it says think, learn, network, and communicate. Those are all the important things that Mercury brings forward. With a Mercury retrograde, we have these things kind of going a little bit topsy-turvy. So just be aware of this. On the 14th of January, we have Mercury retrograde. Now, the pre-shadow period began on the 29th of December, and it lasts till the 14th of January. The pre-shadow period is when it begins in Capricorn, and what we have here is we have Saturn in Aquarius. So Saturn's in Aquarius, and for us Aquarius, that's not a comfortable place for Saturn to be, and that's not very comfortable for us. So we can be feeling rather overwhelmed by things, rather like I'm being pushed this way, or I'm trying to find the answers for things, because this makes us very much think that if I can just get the proper, spreadsheet, or checklist, I will be able to have ultimate freedom. I will be able to really obtain what it is that I want to be free at, how it is that I want to express my soul and express myself. But that's not how life works. We can't order things into then being free. It just doesn't work that way. It sounds like a good idea. It sounds like if I give it this order, if I give it this structure, then I'll be able just to release and go and do whatever I want. But we have to let ourselves have that creative outlet, not be so structured, because we're either going to find that either we get so caught up with the checklist that when it's time to have downtime, that free time, we're going to feel just completely drained and not free at all. And then the other sense is going to be we rebel against it. It's like, how dare somebody, being us, tell me what to do? I'm not doing that. And then we'll find we procrastinate. So just be mindful. This is the energy that really starts off the Mercury retrograde. Now, we do have Jupiter in Pisces, and we also have Neptune in Pisces during this time. Jupiter in Pisces brings this friendly, caring, nurturing energy that's just wonderful. And Neptune in Pisces is ruled by Neptune. All right, it's going to feel very at home here, and Neptune is the lord of the invisible kingdom. So the invisible kingdom is our hearts, our dreams, our self-expression, what it is that we really desire. It's a sense of, what do I really want? What am I stepping into in my life? What is my purpose? And again, it doesn't have to be big. It can be having a bakery. It could be, writing little short stories for kids. It can be reading at the library. It doesn't have to be a big thing at all, but it's just a beautiful thing. What is that purpose? What is that reality that I want to bring forward? And it's lucky that we do have us in Capricorn during this time, because it grounds us and it says, okay, well, let's make practical plans. Let's see this happen practically. Let's get the ball rolling. So that is going to be good for us. On the 14th of January to the 4th of February, we have Mercury in retrograde. And this Mercury in retrograde, we have Mercury in Aquarius. So this is why this lineup right here, we know that Mercury affects us quite profoundly during this time. And Mercury in Aquarius is a time where it just feels comfortable. Mercury feels comfortable in Aquarius. And we feel comfortable with Mercury there because it has us looking at how to express our words, our language, our ideas, our concepts, whatever it is that has us thinking and moving outside of the box. And we love that. We love that exploration, that discovery. Even though Mercury is comfortable in Aquarius and we're comfortable with it there, when Mercury is in retrograde, we find the breakdown of communication to be all the more frustrating and all the more overwhelming. Now, again, we do have Jupiter and Neptune still in Pisces, and that energy is very positive and very grounding, but we do have Venus in Capricorn, and this makes it harder for us to express our feelings. Now, if we're born on the cusp with Capricorn, or we have strong Capricorn energy within our chart, this is going to add to the frustration that we feel, because we don't need this during a Mercury retrograde. We want to be able to express our feelings, or at least let our feelings flow freely within us. This is also what makes us rather secretive, makes us rather withdrawn, because we can't feel like we can express ourselves emotionally, personally, the way that we want to. And it leaves us feeling anxious, sad. Sadness can lead to depression if we don't address it, if we don't look at it. Mercury is going to be trine the moon. Now, we will have good memories, a peaceful soul and good communication skills, because Mercury likes being trine the moon, very much so. But because we're in retrograde, it feels like we almost get there and then things fall apart. So do be mindful of that. Mercury is going to be conjunct Saturn. We will find ourselves distrusting our own abilities and our own imagination, because again, we need to have a practical approach to things. Everything needs to be ordered and structured, and that's just not going to be the way that it works. We need to let go of the rules and step into ourselves. Mercury is going to be squared Uranus. Now, we are ruled by Uranus here, Aquarius, so do be mindful of this, because this is quite harsh and intense. This makes everybody astoundingly opinionated. Everybody feels like they're right, you're wrong, just hush up and sit down and listen type of thing. Everybody's talking, nobody's listening, and that's going to be really frustrating. This brings a tremendous amount of frustration, because there's such a strong sense of I'm right, you're wrong, and people are going to be on attack mode and on defense mode, and it's just going to be that fight or flight type of energy, so we have to be mindful of it. On the 4th, from the 4th of February to the 24th of February, we have the post-shadow period. The moon is going to be sextile Mercury. This brings peace and intelligence. We have to just step out of our own egos to be able to really obtain and really embrace what we truly want. Mercury is going to be sextile Neptune. We have amazing imaginations, yet we find it hard to be able to bring those ideas to life and into the waking world, because we're going to be so worried about it being perfect. So we have to step out of the realm of perfection and say, I need to just step into the realm of me. Mercury is going to be conjunct Pluto. So this alignment brings chaotic thinking, because the subconscious and the conscious thinking process are going to be intertwined. So we're not really going to be understanding each other during this time, and yet people are going to think I'm using really small words. I'm not saying anything that's like just so unbelievably hard to understand. Why aren't people getting it? And so that could be a point of contention during this time. Mercury is going to be trine the North Lunar Node, which makes us astoundingly curious about ourselves, about others. We want to heal. We want to dive deep into the emotions and the well-beings of everything. We can't fix everything. Even within ourselves, we can't fix everything. We have to sometimes say, you know what? That was unfair. That was unjust. That was wrong. But I'm still moving forward in the beauty and the wisdom that is me. I'm not letting that tear me down. So just being aware of that is going to be really important, because the world is opening to us. What we have right here is the world saying, I'm coming to you. And it's coming to us in the way of movies, in the way of books, in the way of some sort of media here that's going to give us an idea, that's going to open up the door and say, well, why can't I do this? And why can't I move that way? And why can't I embrace this or embrace that? And that's going to be a changing point for us. That's going to be something that we hadn't looked at before. And as the world opens, we start to say, what do I want to claim from this world? How do I want to embrace this? And we can feel rather foolish. The way that we're moving forward might not be that big superhero way, or that big way that everybody wants us to. There's just such a strong message of take pleasure in the little beautiful things. Take pleasure in the powerful, beautiful understandings of life and how we're moving forward in our existence. Because remember, every single person starts their journey as a fool, as a person who is looked at and laughed at, and people say, you can't possibly. And I was just watching a documentary on Barbra Streisand, because, why not? And her mother didn't think she could make it at all. Didn't think that she could be anything, didn't think she was talented, and thought that she was just making a fool out of herself, type of deal. And yet she believed in herself, and she rose to such acclaim, even though she came from such poverty. And so here, it's like, if you don't believe in you, who the heck will? And it doesn't matter who you think is supposed to be your cheerleader, who is supposed to be on your side, who is supposed to understand. If they don't, they don't. We can spend our whole life grieving that. And we do. Some of us never get past that grieving process. My father never believed in me. My mother never believed in me. My third grade teacher, told me I was an idiot, sort of thing. And we never see past the fact that they were short-sighted. They didn't know what they didn't know. And they lived in their own hurtful, hateful words and worlds. And those don't get to be ours. Just remember, every single hero's journey is first a fool's errand. It's first foolish. Don't let them take away the world from you. Because if we follow that dream, we walk into the star. We walk into ourselves. We walk into what we deeply wish for, not what we cross our fingers and say, oh, I hope I can obtain, XYZ. It's like, this is what I deeply long for, what I deeply want, what I deeply need, my power, my passion, my beauty, myself. When divinity gives it to us, is it overwhelming? Heck, yes. Is it something that we like? Sometimes no. It comes our way. It makes us step out of our comfort zone. It makes us look at the world in a different way. And it's like, well, can I do this? And Spirit is saying, yes, you can. Yes, you absolutely can. This is the essence of us coming forward. And as the essence of us come forward, as we start to look at our dreams and what we desire and what we deeply long for and what we deeply want, well, it moves us to our love and our passion. We're starting to bring the passion back into our lives. We're starting to see what we love. We're starting to see what we desire. We're confronting the chaos of our existence. And that chaos could have spilt over and made our world, very chaotic. It could have made us surrounded by stuff to be able to make these walls around us, to hide away the world from us and keep us safe. And now we're going to see ourselves, breaking free and saying, what is my love? What is my passion? What is my desire? How do I want to move forward in this waking world? And it brings us to the King of Pentacles. At our heart, we're looking at the seeds that we have planted. We're looking at the knowledge, excuse me, that crowns our existence. We're looking at the dreams that start moving us forward. And it's like, how do I plant this? How do I embrace this? The King of Pentacles, kings in medieval time were the highest form of power within, the little circle of the world, because they were the force. They were the power. And so here within our hearts, as we're looking at what we desire, we're also realizing that we're that powerful force. We're that driving force to make things happen. If we believe, then it can become. And sometimes we believe that our dreams are leading us down this road, and Spirit's saying, keep your eyes open, because you might be doing, circles and U-turns and just, roundabouts, type of things. And everything is changing. Everything is becoming, and it's becoming so much more. And the journey is going to be greater than you ever expected it to be. But don't discount the side roads. Don't think, no, but it has to be this way, because we can find exactly what we want in the most unbelievable, most beautiful way that we couldn't have imagined, because it wasn't in our realm of thinking. So the King of Pentacles is saying, nurture the prosperity, nurture the abundance, keep the wealth coming forward. This is what I've been working towards. And the Ace of Wands is our passion and our creativity coming forward. This is God, source, spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, handing us this gift of that passionate creativity, of that opening up of the door and saying, this is why I get out of bed in the morning. This is the fire that drives me. We then have the Five of Cups. We're going to be a little bit of a negative Nelly at times and look at what has failed and not see the Two of Cups, the Minor Arcana Lovers card, standing right behind us. And there's just such a power here of, yes, I can mourn. And that's also at our root, right? Spirit had said that earlier. Yes, I can mourn everything that hasn't worked, everything that isn't. And that could be my whole entire life. One, mournful ballad after the other of what wasn't, instead of celebration of what is. And that's going to be really important for us during this time, to turn around and see our blessings, to turn around and see what we still have, to see, that beauty, that fire, that power within us that opens up the door. And it brings us to the Nine of Wands. We're too busy listening to everybody else. Here it says strength and support and boundaries. And then it repeats it like a mantra. There we go. Strength and support and boundaries. We have greater strength that supports us. We need to have clear boundaries. We need to set up those walls, which we might say, oh, we need to crumble down the walls. We need to let everybody in. No, not everybody's opinion is welcome. It's just not. Not everybody gets to have a say in our lives. They just don't. They have their lives. They get to live those. We get to live ours. There's a beauty, there's a power, there's a prosperity to us. We get to let it shine. And we we have to just be mindful that we can get so caught up in what everybody is saying, how everybody wants us to be, that we lose sight of who we are and where it is that we're heading, what it is that we're going for in our lives. The Fool again comes up, and here it says purity, potential, risk, innocence, desire. There needs to be a level of naivety at times to take a risk, to say, oh, well, I can do this, or this will work for me, type of deal. And the Fool comes in, and we're just taking that step. We're going towards something great. And the Fool is saying, again, in the public arena, are you going to let everybody else dictate your prosperity, your wealth, your abundance, your power, your brilliance? Or are you going to kind of like take the bull by the horns and say, I'm going to jump for me. I'm going to go for what I desire. I'm going to let myself shine. Because even though they might think I'm foolish, even though they might not understand, I get to understand. And this isn't saying, do something terribly risky that can put us in harm and say, oh, don't worry, I'm fine, type of thing. This is saying, look at your skills, look at what you desire in your life, and don't discount you just because, other people don't see the same vision. Other people don't have the same ideas. Again, remember, every single hero was first a fool. It moves us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of, and it's Taurus energy. It's over stubbornness. It's coming against people who are very, very stubborn and say, it should be this way, it should be that way, type of deal. It's looking at things and it's being too fixated on seeing things in one certain way for ourselves. So just let ourselves be open-minded. Our subconscious chakra energy is inspiration. This is the sacral chakra. This is a new dawn. This is a new day. This is the sacral chakra is where our creative energy, our inspired energy is held. Let it shine. It's also where our sensual energy is held. Let us be proud of our bodies and ourselves. Let us stand a little taller. Let us love our reflections. And let us embrace the new dawn of ourselves as we embrace this new year. Our subconscious rooted energy is the Wheel of Fortune. I love this Wheel of Fortune because I love our angels untangling the mess that we have made. Even if we think we've done such a good job, our angels are looking at it and like, okay, this is work. And we're going to feel like we're on a Ferris wheel. We're going to feel like we're on a runaway roller coaster at times. And there's just such intensity here. And so just know we have our highs, our lows, our twists, our turns, type of deal. But so much chaos, so much hurt, so much pain is being untangled. And a new season is opening for us, an opening to us. Our subconscious, what is this? Inner self, there we go, is the Fool once again. So now we have had the Fool show up 3 times. 3 times divinity is saying, take that step. Don't care what everybody else thinks. Risk being foolish. Risk people talking about you behind your back, and go and be the hero of your story. We then have our subconscious emotional self, and it's the Hierophant. So the Hierophant can be what holds us back, what we have to be mindful of, right? That energy to be mindful of subconsciously. And at our heart, it is the energy that also moves us forward. These are our traditions. This is what's powerful for us. This is our intensity, our understanding, our insight. This is saying, be true to you. Be true to you and see where the story of your truth and your desire takes you. It moves us to our subconscious public arena self, and that is the world. And here it says rewards, success, completion. And the world is opening up to us, and we are opening to the world. And there is so much more power here. There's so much more beauty here than we know. We're stepping into a new world. We're stepping into a new sense of self, a new power, a new understanding of our being. And that is extraordinary. All right, Aquarius. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power and the intensity of this Mercury retrograde. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Aquarius. And may you have a blessed Mercury retrograde.